That's why I'm the king round here.
What's going on? It's your boy King Garnett 87 back to you guys again with another video. All right, I want to talk to you guys today about something that does hold dear to my heart because it's something that I personally struggle with, which is test taking. Test taking is the hardest part of the curriculum in school for me when it comes to exams, because I always second guess myself. If there are two questions on there or two answers on there that look the same or even look similar, I start to struggle. I'm like, okay, is it this one? Is it that one? Is it this one? Is it that one? And my mind smacks itself and says, hey, just go with your first thought. And sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. Here lately, I've been right. So anybody who is going to go to school to be an educator, all right, whether you're a young traditional student, possibly still in high school, going to go to college afterwards, what I would encourage you to do right now, if I don't care what age or what grade you're in, I would encourage you to make sure that right now you are taking ACT prep classes or SAT prep classes. I am from Tennessee. Tennessee, we only do the ACT. I'm sure there's opportunities out there to take the SAT, but we only do the ACT. If you plan on going into education, you have to make sure that you have at least a 22 on your ACT. That way you don't have to take the Praxis core exam. So with the ACT, that's a standardized test. A lot of people struggle on it, especially people with not so well social economical backgrounds, because a lot of the way that it's worded, a lot of the verbiage is not something that we're used to. However, if you are in an opportunity to be able to take the ACT prep, make sure you take the ACT prep. I also want to give a shout out to my son's school. My son goes to a prep school here in the city where we live. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a phenomenal program, phenomenal process. He's actually in the 8th grade. He's already taken the Praxis ACT twice. He's an 8th grader and he's taking the ACT prep twice. All right, for me, I took the ACT once. I took the ACT prep 0. So I'm just letting you know that the importance of the ACT prep. Please, if you get an opportunity to take the ACT prep, no matter if you're in the 8th grade all the way up to the 12th grade, take the prep class. Take the prep class, all right? Prep yourself as much as possible, because you can't go wrong with prepping yourself for what's going to eventually help you out in your career field. If you choose to go into education. Then honestly, if you choose to go into college, certain colleges, they require you to have a certain ACT score, or your GPA has to be a certain level. But my son's school, like I said, he's already taken the ACT prep twice. He's only in the 8th grade.
Sensational.
So just imagine like yourself being in the 8th grade taking this test that grown people are taking right now. But if you don't make more than a 22 on your ACT, you will be required to take what's called the Praxis core exam. I could go back and retake the ACT. I looked at it and I said, man, I'm not going to go back in time and take the ACT. I'll just do the Praxis core. I should be able to pass it. I took the core the first time. I kind of struggled. I can't say kinda. I struggled on 2 of the 3 fields that's on it. So the 3 subjects that the core Praxis covers is going to be math, writing, and reading. The first time I took the core, I was in there for 4 hours taking tests, because you take all 3 in one, which was a big no-no for me, because like I said, I had test anxiety and I'll second guess myself on everything. Honestly, it's a test anxiety. Like if it looks like it's a tricky question, I'm gonna struggle with it. I know for sure. But with these 3 tests that I had taken in 4 hours, I passed 1. The one that I passed was the one that I was most scared of failing at, or I knew I was going to fail, which was the math. The math on the Praxis, I actually had taken the math Praxis. We're supposed to make like a 150, I think like a 157, and I ended up making like a 180. So I was like, man, like I passed that with flying colors. However, I didn't do so well on the writing and the reading because I didn't really study for those. Because I was like, man, it's easy, I can do that. So I ended up doing it all individual the next time. So you can take everything individualized as well. So I ended up taking the reading test, the reading Praxis. I took that. I passed it with flying colors, no problem. The third process was to take the writing Praxis. The writing Praxis, I had to take it 2 more times. I took the writing practice 2 more times. I failed by 2 points. You have to make a 162. I had a failed by 3 points if I'm not mistaken. I had a 159, and then I was like, man, what am I gonna do? And I ended up taking it again the last time. One thing I will say, do not take the at-home test, all right? If you can, that's fine. If that's your only opportunity or your only way of taking it, that's fine. But please go to a center inside and take it, because those are controlled environments. Whereas if you take it at home, you're at the hands of anything happening at home. Whether it's kids around, whether it's somebody knocking on the door, neighbors, service calls, anything. You're liable for anything that while you're taking that test, because you can't answer the phone, you can't talk to other people, you can't do those types of things if you're taking it at home. So if you do take the Praxis, I would encourage you to make sure that you are taking it at a facility. Like I said, I took the Praxis. My last time I took it, I was supposed to get a 162. I ended up passing with a 176. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like a 176. So I ended up completing the core. I just did it in steps. So I broke it down to math, reading, writing, all 3 individually. Then it's just a little bit more money because you have to pay for each, I guess what you call proctored test, because there's cameras around and they're watching you from everywhere. There's microphones. It's real organized. It's very organized. But with the Praxis, make sure that you start studying for that, especially if you're a non-traditional student like myself. Start studying for that if you are going to go into the educational field. If you're not going to go into the educational field and there is no Praxis that you need to take, that's fine. Don't even worry about it. This right here is irrelevant. Now I've been studying for the past couple of months, actually a couple of weeks really, I'll be honest. The last couple of weeks I've been practicing for the health and physical education Praxis. This is 2 separate practices that I have to take. So I take one that's for physical education, and you have to take one that's for health. For what I've learned so far, it's not the easiest test to take, but because of the things that I've been learning in these past 3 semesters at the school that I'm attending, I think I'm well prepared to be able to take it, but I am studying, so I'm making sure that I study at least twice, 2 to 3 times a week on the Praxis. I take it on February 21st. I'm excited about that. Hopefully I can get in there and I can pass it the first time, and I ain't gonna worry about it no more. But then once I take the physical education Praxis, I am gonna go ahead and schedule for the health Praxis. I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out as well. I can do it. If I can do this, you can do this. I promise you, all right? Even if you take it class by class, even if you take 15 hours or 18 hours like I've done, or if you've just taken 1 class at a time, I promise you, if I can do it, I know you can do it. But the Praxis exam is something that I wasn't very well prepared for, because the college that I actually had transferred from, they didn't really tell us a lot about the Praxis. I think they mentioned it a couple of times, but they didn't actually prepare us for it. But once I got to this college I'm at now, which is at University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, I was encouraged to make sure that I take the Praxis ASAP. Like it was like hit the ground running, let's go. But I am just excited that I've actually passed everything. Now I can worry about moving forward with the health and physical education Praxis. Once I finish that, then I can actually start looking for jobs. May the 1st. All right, I graduate May the 7th. I'll be ready to start working May the 8th. I'm telling you. So I'm hitting the ground running. But with me going job embedded, it's a process that I will actually be working. Once I'm accepted and given a job, I'll be working while I'm still working on my licensure. With me passing my health and physical education Praxis, it's going to make my licensure a whole lot easier. The process is going to be a whole lot easier. My mentor is probably going to thank me, because all they have to do is check in with me to make sure that I know how to do lesson plans, and make sure that I know how to command the class, make sure I am doing my due diligence in my classroom to make sure that it's a very great learning environment, which is what I bring to the table. All right, what do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? I bring to the table a great learning environment. I am going to be an excellent educator. All right, excellent educator. But like I said, man, if you are interested in getting into education, make sure that you start working on that Praxis exam. Even if you're at the community college level, start working on the Praxis exam. the faster you start working on that Praxis exam, I promise you, it'll be out the way. You won't have to worry about it anytime more or anymore. But I'm not gonna take too much of your time. I appreciate you guys for staying with me. I appreciate the energy. I appreciate the love. I got things I gotta go do today. I'm gonna go ahead and rock the house. I'm gonna get out of here. Like I said, 2 videos a week. I promise you guys that. So two videos a week. I'm gonna try to do my best to stay on top of it. All right, I'm not gonna fade away. I'm gonna stay with it, stick with it, give you guys 2 videos a week, and then guess what? I'll be graduating in May. I can't believe it. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to encourage you guys to get out there and do it. Nobody's gonna do it for you. Not your spouse, not your kids, not your parents. I promise you. You have to do it. You have to make that choice. King Arnett, I'm out.